front stage. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here that comes.
Oh Lord.
Musa? Musa. Dwight, you're part of the championship team. You made no secret that you wanted your parade, you want to be back on the top of the stage. You had to kind of sum it up here for why you guys fall short of that. What do you look to first?
Shoot myself, man, what I could have did better. The areas I got to improve in. What I could have done to help, my teammates in any position, off the court, on the court, whatever. So just look to myself, and what I could have done to help this team be successful this season.
Dwight, your career has obviously had several evolutions, and I'm just curious, like at this stage of your career, how much more basketball do you think you have in you? It seems like you're still having a lot of fun out there. Like take the results of this season out, which I understand is different, but like, what kind of joy are you deriving from the game and the kind of role that you've been able to carve out at this stage of your career?
Well, obviously, I personally still feel like I can do more and bring more, just given the opportunity. But I'm grateful that I had another opportunity to come back here and play here in LA. I know that it didn't end the way that we all hoped for and expected it to. But looking back on this season, it's a lot to be very thankful for. I thought we ended the season yesterday with some really good energy. I know that it was our last game of the season. We won't be able to compete for a championship, but just the vibe and the energy that was displayed yesterday, it's very positive. So I think that the future of this team will be a lot better after considering the disappointing season that we had this year.
Because you brought up the energy last night and that real positive uptick, I'm just wondering what it was like to go from that to, I'm assuming pretty quickly once you're back in the locker room hearing about the report about Frank, and like how did that alter kind of the night of the flight home at all?
I don't think we were all really even thinking about that. I just felt like everybody was just like, man, we get a chance to put this one behind us. As bad as it was just a very tough year. I saw a fight, a UFC fight the other night, and the guy who lost the fight, he said he felt like he was trying to get over this wall during the fight that he could just never get over no matter how hard he tried. And just really felt like that all year, trying to get over this wall. Just no matter how hard we worked, no matter what we did in practice, no matter individually how long we stayed in the gym, how many film sessions we had, all the talks we had and stuff like that, just felt like we could not get over, that wall. It's very tough. And, sometimes in life we have these obstacles that just seem like you can't get over, where you have to, really sit back down and regroup and, just, kind of figure out take all the positives away from the situation. And, didn't end well this year, but, it's a lot of things that, we can look forward to.
Yeah.
Dwight, having, as good of a look at this as anybody with your experience in this league, Russ sat here and kind of told us that he never really felt comfortable at all this year as a player, that he never felt like he got the chance to be himself. And to summarize in general, it was that he never felt like it worked with him with LeBron. Maybe it's like a general
It's very tough. I can understand that.
I was going to say, from watching it up close, even though I know injuries prevented and stuff, even when everyone was healthy, it still always looked a little clunky. Do you think there's a salvation in that? Do you think it could work between those three?
Obviously, it can. I think it can. But it takes time. And we live in a microwave society where we want results right away, and things takes time to mesh. You're looking at three guys in Russ, AD, and LeBron who need to have the basketball in their hands to be effective. This is how Russ has been his whole career. He's been the guy with the ball. He's making decisions and stuff like that. So is LeBron, and then you got AD, who's the one who's up and coming star, who needs the ball in his hands as well. So it's very tough. Coming in first year, you playing at home. It's probably very difficult. So I can understand him being uncomfortable, all season long, because you're trying to make it work so bad. It goes back to what I was saying about the wall. It's like, man, you're trying to do so much to get through, but it's just like it's just not working right now. Sometimes you got to sit back down and regroup and figure out how it can work and what you have to sacrifice and put away in order to be successful.
Did you see that with Russ, that wall that he was trying to climb?
I could see it. Sometimes very frustrating. Me being here before, my first year, we had some very, difficult times during the season, and you starting to hear things and stuff going on like that, and that energy could kind of really cause you to feel discomfort, and sometimes, in life you have to get uncomfortable first to, become comfortable. And I think that we all had to get a little bit out of our comfort zones this year. And I believe if we were to have an opportunity when we come back, we'll be a little bit more at ease and we'll have a better season.
Yeah. Dwight, talking about the microwave fashion of things in society, there's been a lot in a relatively short amount of time for this franchise, from even if you just pick up in July 2020 through now, longest run in the bubble, and they've had injuries with, you go to Philadelphia, come back. Do you think everyone involved could benefit from an extended offseason to just kind of
very much so? That was a conversation I had right before I stepped in here about it seems like for a lot of us, we've had like 3 quick seasons, and this will be the first time when we get a chance to kind of, really kind of decompress and bring in some new, fresh energy, So I always try to find a positive in any situation, and I think that, for a lot of us who've been here, won a championship and stuff like that, I think, despite the disappointment of the season, we get a chance to decompress, and kind of unwind and get everything out and, come back full force.
I walked in a little late. Did you say whether you want to come back or not?
Do I want to come back? I don't want to leave.
I mean,
Dave, that's the rhythm. You go somewhere else for years and you come back.
No, I don't want to have that rhythm. I want to be cemented somewhere, love being here, love the fans, they have a good time. I just really would like a opportunity, to where I could really go out and go out with a bang. Only got a couple years left, so I want an opportunity where I can go out and show my skills and talent and do it in the right way, but also win. I feel like I deserve it.
Oh, sure. Sorry. Oh, okay, sorry. Wait, there was kind of this maybe tension, I don't know if you recall that, but there was a lot of vets on this team who had experience like yourself, and there's young guys who came in generally later, and certainly later in the year, Frank started looking at them more in the rotation. What was that like, being sort of in the middle of that, and how did it affect the team chemistry?
Well, it was tough dealing with it and going through it. But, looking back on it, something that I felt like, I could have done better was just not allowing, that to even dampen my energy or my spirit of movement, kind of keep the same energy every single day, and obviously we're human and, some things disappoint us and hurt us. But I feel like I should have allowed that to, kill my joy.
Was there a low point for you in that?
Oh yeah, I told you about the wall.
Well, I just meant maybe a timestamp on it,
Man, the whole season. It's pretty tough.
That's bleak.
It was tough, but like I said, I try to find the positive side of it, and I know I could have done a better job of keeping my joy throughout all of that. Continue to maintain, condition and shape, even if the coach says I'm not going to play no more or whatever it may be. Just for my own benefit, just to help myself. But, maybe that could have helped other guys if they felt the same way, because, that's very tough, for a lot of us to have to, go through that.
Yeah. Well, just thinking about your draft class 2004, I think it's just Iguodala and Trevor left and played the most minutes. Just wonder, do you take a certain sense of pride in that? Do you think about all of the improved minutes, how much physically it takes to kind of come back another year? How do you put all that in context, thinking back to that draft year?
Oh man, I'm just very thankful and grateful to be able to play this sport that long. It's a very long time, 2004 till now, 18 years. But I would love to continue to play more. I feel like I got a lot more years left in me, with technology and me understanding really now how to take care of my body better than I did in the past. I can give, this team, some really good years. And go from there.
Just as a quick follow-up to that, you have been able to find a way to stay on the floor, right? So at this stage, and avoid certain injuries and knock on wood. And with AD specifically, and the way that his body is another big. Are there any conversations you've had with some things that you found success with, or just as he tries to find a way to stay on the floor as he gets further into his career as well?
I mean, I think just some of these things are freak accidents. There's nothing he can really do about. Somebody falling into his leg and hurt his knee, or, going for a rebound and coming down on his ankle. It's just things that happen. But again, this is all a part of this journey that we go through in this sport. And it's just to test our character, so he will come back stronger. He's going to come back better. And I know he puts a lot of work in with his body and try to make sure he stays healthy and right. So he gets a chance now to really sit back and get himself together. And he's going to come back and have a strong season.
Your last one, Phil.
Dwight, obviously for a majority of your career, you were the offensive focal point for your teams. And these last few years, you transitioned to a smaller role offensively. Russ obviously had a smaller role this year, but sharing with LeBron and AD, and he talked about how much he had to adjust and sacrifice being a superstar and kind of transitioning to a smaller role. How difficult is that? And what did you see kind of firsthand with Russ's adjustment and how he kind of navigated that process?
Well, I thought, like we talked about earlier, it's just the comfort part, in the wording, the wording of saying somebody's a superstar to now just a role player. Russ is a star. He's always going to be a star, just understanding how to, navigate in the galaxy full of stars. No,
That's my aim.
But no, Russ is this is his first year here. He's playing with, you know, like I said, a guy in LeBron who needs the basketball to make plays and stuff like that. So now we're just playing off of these guys, and that can be very difficult, and it takes time. And we tried to put this recipe together just like that and expect it to work without really testing it out and giving it a chance to really, you know, kind of like, you know, mold and, you know, get right, get together. So it just wasn't enough time, you know, for that to happen. And you can't say that it can't be done, you know, because Russ has played with Kevin Durant and James Harden, and you need the ball in their hands as well. But it just takes time. And, you know, we'll get it right. You know, so hopefully we'll come back next year, you know, pissed off with how we finished the season this year, but with a new set of energy. Go for another championship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a bigger chance you come back next year, man. He's like,
A bigger change.